Good morning to all. Yeah, I Priya Dangwal from Banison Media. I would like to thank all the members and all the speakers present here for this event. I like to welcome you all in this third day of Feed Tech Expo 2023 and Dairy Industry Expo 2023, Animal Feed Technology Expo, the Farming and Processing event. In this session, I would like to thank our gold sponsor, by Biomurix, and also want to thank conference sponsor Agrovet Nutrition. Today, the topic of the session is dairy sector, an integral part of the food security. So, I would like to invite and welcome Mr. Lester Noon, sir, the moderator of this session. I would like to invite him on the stage. Dr. Lester Nunes graduated from Madras Veterinary College, worked briefly for TNAH department, NGO sector and 26 years in NDDB. At NDDB worked mostly in the animal breeding, animal health and training as well as principal of NDDB Training Center in TN. Post-retirement, he is acting as dairy training consultant. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Kavtekar, sir. Please round of applause for him. He completed graduation in veterinary sciences from Bombay Veterinary College, Mumbai, masters in animal nutrition from Bombay Veterinary College, and PhD in animal nutrition from Indian Veterinary College, Izzat Nagar, Bareilly. Has spent 4 years as doctorate fellow in South Korea, published over 50 plus research articles in reputed international journals, currently working in Kargil. And then I would like to invite Mr. Naresh Kumar, sir. Yes. He is working as application support manager in Biomerics Industrial Application Division in India. He holds a master degree in microbiology from Lovely Professional University, Punjab, India, and he is primarily role at Biomerics is to provide technical support of industrial application to customers in India. He has over 12 years of customer experience working in microbiology laboratories in different segments like dairy, industry, animal protein, water, CTLS. He is certified integral auditor for ISO and has a very good knowledge on food regulatory affairs. So next, I would like to invite Dr. Vishak Mohan, sir, a graduate of Manati Veterinary College, started his career as an entrepreneur back in 2019 by starting his own veterinary disease diagnostic laboratory. So I would like to welcome him. Please give a round of applause. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Dr. Prashant Shinde, sir. He is currently working in Kargil Animal Nutrition and Health as a commercial director. Give a round of applause for him. Then I would like to invite Dr. Raja Ratinam, sir, on stage. Dr. Raja is seasoned dairy professional. His academic attainments include doctorate in dairy sciences with multiple graduation in MSc in dairy technology, analytical chemistry, and dairy microbiology with MA literature. And furthermore, I would like to add, at present, he is the student pursuing for law and and presently serving as managing director at UNDP. So and also working with the landless, small and marginal farmers, along with he is played including planning commission and IRMA, and also working with the IRMA and other prestigious organization. He has been recognized with the Prime Minister Governor Award, Chief Minister Award, and International Rotary Award, and other prestigious award. So give a round of applause for him. So I would like to say one thing to all the audience present here. So please be attended to the session as you will be giving some, like lucky audience will be giving some memento. So please present here and please give the attendment to the presentations. So I would like to invite Lester sir for further moderate the session.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today's theme, as we can see, is the dairy sector, which is an integral part of food security. Why do we say that? Because if you look at it, almost every person on this planet or every other person on this planet consumes milk or milk products. And for millions of our dairy farmers, especially the small farmers and the landless dairy farmers, it is a livelihood, as we all know. Dairying is a livelihood. And also in the dairy industry and the feed industry, they provide employment, they provide livelihoods to so many people. So that is one of the reasons why we say that the dairy sector is an integral part of food security. But if dairying has to sustain itself, it's very important that the milk producers are satisfied, the dairy industry and the feed industry is satisfied, and the consumers are satisfied. Unless all three partners are happy about what is happening, then it's difficult to get sustainability in the dairy sector. Why I'm saying this is because we all know that in India, there are many areas, many districts, many states, where the milk producers are not getting a proper price for their milk. The cost of milk production, we all know, is going up year by year. But many of our milk producers, especially in some states, they are not satisfied. They don't get a proper milk, the price for their milk. The reason for this is because unless the dairies, whether it is cooperative dairy or private dairy, unless these dairies are efficient, they cannot transfer a better procurement price to the producer. So we all have a stake in this, in the dairying to see that it is sustainable. Now, coming to today's session, in order to, most of this is not in our control. Most of what I said about pricing for the milk is not in our control. But what is in our control is to help the dairy farmers to reduce the cost of milk production. Now, how do we do that? How do we help our millions of our dairy farmers, how do we help them to bring down the cost of milk production? One, through proper animal breeding. When I say proper, efficient animal breeding, I mean helping the farmers in getting the good quality semen, the efficiency in insemination, conception rate, timely detection of heat, very good conception rate. And this is something which we continuously have to do to help the dairy farmers in order to have an efficient breeding system, which will again will in some way reduce the cost of milk production. Second, of course, is animal health. Because if animals are not in, if there is a disease happening, we all saw now about this lumpy skin disease and so many other diseases, we have to see that the farmers get their vaccines on time, hygienic practices, and also other health disease control measures which we have to, all the stakeholders, private dairies, cooperatives, government, we have to see that health is something which they have to, preventive health is very important for our dairy animals. Then of course animal nutrition, we have to see that the cost of feed is affordable to the dairy farmers. We have to advise them on proper ration balancing. We have to advise them on even if they are using their own cattle feed, how to properly ration their feed and feed according to the milk production. Not feeding less or feeding more, both are not advisable. So these are the things we have to keep on educating our dairy farmers. So I said about animal breeding, animal health, animal nutrition, and then we come to the quality of milk, which has also been indirectly helped the dairy farmers. What I mean is microbiological quality of milk, and also finally the animal welfare, which is something the world over now they are putting a lot of focus on. Animal welfare, comfort of animals, so that they will produce better. So the last 2 days we have, in the sessions in the last 2 days, what we have seen is very specific subjects where speakers spoke on very specific subjects. like baling of silage, on mycotoxins, on insect feed, digitalization, ethanol production. These are all very niche, I call it niche subjects and very important specific subjects for the dairy industry. But today, in today's session, we'll be talking more generalized subjects which is directly affecting the dairy farmers. We have eminent speakers here from various organizations with a lot of experience, and I will not go further on. I will now invite the first speaker, Dr. Anil Kavatkar. He's from Schreiber Dairy, and he will be talking on animal welfare and also on the use of ethno-veterinary products for the dairy animals. This is just briefly, he will cover more about the topic. So thank you very much. Sorry, I forgot to mention, each speaker will be given for 20 minutes. And after the speaker completes, then we can ask the questions. Two to three questions can be raised, and we will give the response.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's 12:02, okay. I am Dr. Anil Kautekar. I have been working with farmers since last 28 years. In fact, my initial days of joining the service after the graduation, it started with a poultry farmer, and it still continued with dairy farmer. And I observed that maybe the poultry, it may be the dairy, no business is at loss. It is only matter how it is being handled. When I was in poultry, some farmers were getting hen house of more than 360, so they were in profits. And in livestock sector, basically it's a feed and produce. What they produce and at what cost they produce, that matters. Other integral part of animal production is health of the animal. So that cycle goes on. Those farmers understands the animal, they love the animal, they get more out of it. And based on my couple of years with milk producers, it is my understanding, unless and until the business is profitable, and as Dr. Luster said, price is not in their hand. So what is in their hand is only productivity. And based on the productivity, those that perform well, they can sustain the business. More or less, poultry is more volatile, but dairy is that way, it's a stable business. I have been responsible for Amul's development in Maharashtra for last 8-9 years. I developed their structure. Then I am at now Schreiber Dynamics, who are there in the dairy industry. They are doing some different work. Now, as the today's discussion matter, dairy sector is an integral part of food security. So yes, it's very unique topic to be discussed at this forum and at this age. As you might have listened, or you are rightly known that India has become world's largest milk producer, contributing 24% of the total global production. Yes, and now it's a time to discuss on the milk quality also, rather than the milk volume. We achieved milk volume significantly over the last 75 years. At the time of independence, the consumption of milk, per capita consumption of milk, just 30 grams per person. Now we have crossed 450. Yes, it's a good achievement. When we look at this figure, 24%, 221 million liters of milk. Yet it's proud, and these are the some achievements, 220 million liters of milk. Yes, we're proud to be a global number one. Milk production going with CAGR of last 6%. If you study the data of last 5-6 years, the compounded growth is more than 6% in the dairy sector. And third is per capita consumption. It's more than 450, and even it is steadily growing. So it's good to develop the industry. But what is the problem? If you compare this data, pointer is working? Okay. Children, no, pointer, where is pointer? Okay. If you see the figures here, not working yet. It's okay, let it be. So if you see the figure at the left hand side, the challenging data is this average milk yield per animal is 6 to 8 liter. Children, okay, let it be. So now, when we look at the total milk production of 221 million metric ton, so total contribution in the global level, it looks good. But when we come to the productivity of cattle, it's a 6 to 8 liter, as against the global is a 34 to 36 liter per animal per day. And if we analyze further, 6 to 8 liter, with this 221 million liters milk, will come to the around per day calculate. If you calculate on per day basis to understand in better way, it is a 60 crore liters milk per day. And if you see the overall animals in India, cattle, it's a 30 crores. So that will be the 2 to 3 liters only. And what we look at the 221 million metric ton and with a CAGR growth of 6%, these are the government efforts, maybe in terms of the feed, maybe in terms of the artificial insemination, breed improvement, it is going on. But this all matters to the productivity of the animal. What exactly farmer is getting in hand and what it support. Recently I have done one survey of animal welfare farms under our company's ambit. There are 1,150 farms. Of that I have studied 145 farms as a sample for the productivity indicators of the animal farm. And I also worked out to the cost of milk production in Maharashtra specifically, it is in Pune district. Surprisingly, I come to know the cost of milk production as low as 22 rupees per liter and as high as it is 46 rupees per liter. And that is basically what is only productivity. The average milk yield at that 22 rupees per liter is 18 to 20 liter of the flock, and at that 46 rupees is 6 to 8 liters. So these are the efforts, and as of now the challenges I have written, and I think our forum is wise enough to understand the challenges. Low productivity, yes, common. Low herd size, farmer cannot invest much because herd size is a 2 to 4 animal. Lack of good animal husbandry practices, farmer is not ready to invest in that. So that is challenging for him. Even farmer is yet to know the animal needs 24/7 water. Even if farmer provides 24/7 water to the animal, there will be at least a 10% improvement in the milk yield. So then recurrence of diseases, FMD is everywhere, that is a gift to the farmer. LSD has started from last 2 years, but really we shall appreciate the efforts of at least Maharashtra government to combat against the LSD. They vaccinated 99% of the population in very record time, and there is good control in this thing LSD. And apart from that, erratic seasonal impact. This year there is no rains up to the September. there is a shortage of fodder. So these are the challenges, and as everyone knows, the milk price to the farmer is very less. Even when we talk of the cost of production, it is it has been steadily 20% lesser than the cost of production. And where this gap, if you see, if the farmer is continuously getting 20% less than the cost of production, how he is going to survive? So he is going to survive because he has his own arrangements from his own farms to feed the animal. That's why this business is growing on and growing also and steadily developing also. So further to that, what is the sustainable solution for this? As I said earlier, government has helped the farmers to grow the industry. Milk production is going up not because of him, only because of little increasing the productivity in the huge animals available. Because we are not only number milk production, we are also India is also having a number one animal holding also. So there is a little improvement in the milk production of the animal. So slowly the production is also going up. But in my view, what we are talking of the food value chain, government has done enough to increase the milk production. Now it's a part of the industry to add a value to it. Now everyone knows breed, feed, health and management is core. And cooperatives are doing good job. Even now private dairy companies also coming ahead are ready to work with the milk producers to improve the overall scenario at the farm level. Farmer need to mentor. And as we know well, I belong to the farmer family. We are the family of 3 brothers. Those got opportunities, my elder brother and me got opportunity, we came out. My younger brother who stayed at home because he had not much serious on the business. So by that way I understand that there is a need to mentor the farmer, we need to be behind the farmer. And what can be taught is only a continuous communication. And now though we are producing a best volumes of the milk in India, but there is a need to improve the value of milk, to need to go for the next level. Now what is the next level after the production? That milk shall be, now earlier you all the forum might be knowing the clean milk production drive was started by NDDB, Government of India. They spent a lot of money. So clean milk production is there, farmers are fighting, and still there is a challenge of getting a clean milk. Even see the kettles, the way milk is brought to the dairy center. Now dairies are quite aggressive in investment in the bulk milk cooler at village level. But due to the low price, farmer are being forced to pour the milk for the 2 times, morning and evening. But in Maharashtra state, the ratio to morning and evening milk collection is still to improve 30% in the evening and 70% in the morning. Farmer is also wise to understand the cost of transportation. He has to come twice a day to the milk collection center. Still there is a need to invest more in the bulk milk cooler by the industry, that every village shall have a bulk milk cooler so that we can get a good quality milk. That is a clean milk. And what I am going to talk is on the safe milk. What is safe milk is now considered nowadays. We at Schreiber test milk for every parameter. Maybe it may be the aflatoxin, it may be the antibiotic, it may be the heavy metals. These are the 3 subjects are yet to discuss with the milk producer. But now the way multinational companies are coming to India, our farmer need to train to produce that quality of milk. As of now, if we see the compliance for these 3 specific topics, and again the availability milk, it's just 30 to 40%. And many companies are promoting it. And what I see in last my 20 years working with the milk producer, looking to the farmers' expenses, looking to the dairy farming at large, what I see, only animal welfare is the only way to procure a good quality milk which may be the free from contaminants like aflatoxin, antibiotic and heavy metals. And as of now, the condition is that my farmer is not ready to consider dairy as his main business. So look, the dairy industry need to work right from mentoring the farmer to consider dairy as one business. 80% farmers are reluctant to keep their own record for their this dairy business. Lack of record, so he is not able to calculate the exact cost of production. So these are the small issues that farmer, and these are not, what I am talking is not a rocket technology that farmer has to maintain the things. If it is done, farmer will come to know the business and he will definitely will to invest in the business. And that will be the only future of the dairy business in India. And what is required for the animal welfare? A simple treatment like humans. They shall give him a 24/7 water. They shall be treated like, minimum treatment aid shall be given. Good conditions to control their living being. And these are the very, very simple steps that can really change the scenario. And my over last, at Schreiber, we took it very serious as a call for the improvement. In last 3 years, we developed around 1,200 farms. And yes, really the scenario is very, very encouraging, and that I will come to the next slide. This is a traditional farm. Animals are throttled with rope, no ventilation, no special care, no cleanliness, and this practice is not encouraging for the youth to come into the dairy business. Now, if a youth, suppose a graduate, if you see the unemployment ratio and assured business of the dairying, at least I have seen now there are 3 points of discussions in Maharashtra. One is the milk rate, onion rate, tomato rate. These are the hot topics. And when I study the onion rates, there is a drastic level from the somewhere around 80 rupees to the 2 rupees, a throwaway price. Tomato is the same, but dairy is the only business where you can get less rate for some time. So this is aspiring. Now banks are also ready to invest as per the government policies. They have to pay some portion of lending to the agriculture sector. So this comes. So this model of traditional farm, the youth, a graduate youth has to clean the dung of the cow, has to leave the animal, has to water the animal, has to feed the animal. So this is not going to be encouraging for them. So we principally promote animal welfare model in which no cows are tied, they are free. There may be some challenges during the only rainy season, and these cows are not cleaned, no water is available 24/7. So apart from the milking in the morning and evening, the gentleman farmer is free to go out, and this farm can be managed well. And it can be from the, see, when we started the scheme, that time it was the minimum 5 animals. But we seen, looking to the results, we allowed it to 2-3 animals farm. Only the thing, same farm is there. Only the ventilation he has to, and he has to leave the animals open, pour some litter there, and there is a, our purpose is suffice. And this has bring the fantastic results. I have given the this thing a comparison of the parameters: water 24/7, threading with rope, nothing that I explained to you. Comfortable bedding, automatically this dung become a bed. Preventive health care, yes, it is available. There is some contract with the local livestock supervisor. He used to provide the this thing. And phone call service is also started by the many dairies. On the phone call, explain the problem, they can get a solution. Then cattle can express their normal behavior, yes, they are free. And the cattle are under fear and distress, no, they are free So productivity improvement will be there. See the change, these are the five freedoms we recommend to the this under animal welfare farm, and these are the monitored on yearly audits, either these provisions are there or not, as these farms are developed by us and their milk is sourced by us. So freedom for thirst, hunger, yes, water is available. Express normal behavior, yes, they are free. No, there is a freedom for fear and distress, yes, there is no distress and fear as animals are not tied. So freedom for pain, injury, veterinary services are there, and there is a comfort. And these are the minimum 4 provisions: 24/7 water, prevent health care, comfortable bedding, and loose housing. And these are the fantastic results. I have given here a clear comparison. You can see here the herd size was 7. After the animal welfare farm, the production has gone up. He is getting good profits. There is increase in number of animal, milking in animal, it is gone up. Milk production, you can say, the average even, you can say there is increase in the 25%. And apart from that, the fat also gone up, SNF also gone up. These are the 2 major parameters wherein the farmer's milk is brought. And see the treatment cost. It's 747 rupees, 14 rupees per animal. It has come down to the just 67 rupees. And there are some farmers, I visited the loose housing farms, animal welfare farms. The veterinarians had not turned up for years together. No, because no fear is there, no stress is there. And you can see the working hours. What I explained the model, working hours has come down by 50%. He has to spend only morning and evening. And this is a model we can grow, we can promote to attract youths to the dairying business.
Dr. Anil, you have 5 minutes more.
Yeah, just it's only last. And small farmers, yes, I understand that they cannot invest much. And as per it, I have seen, even if farmer, if we decide to go for, most of the bamboos are available that can be used. And what is the best breed that I would like to share? HF is the most docile breed, that even if we keep one rope of bamboo this in front of that, that animal will not cross that border, HF. So that is good to have the board HF animals on board. And secondly, this rubber mats concept many people are advocating, but that is not good for the animal health. Mastitis is more prone when the rubber mats are used. And this feeding of pregnant animal is most of the time neglected, that need to take care. And calf treatment also. Calf shall be given a good ration to develop them. At least 24 months is a good period of time to have a child to the this thing. And this is everyone must not be knowing ethno-veterinary medicine treatment. I will just conclude in 2 minutes. Most effective way to control the antibiotics. Now, if you see the data of using the antibiotic, almost like a group like beta-lactam, if we see it has become to the next level, antibiotic usage has gone to the next level, it is detrimental to the human health. Almost 60-65% milk what we receive is positive to the antibiotic and aflatoxin. And this is the problem. Even FSSI now has made it very stringent. At least 4 group of antibiotics are mandatory. And this is the only way to control the antibiotic. Suppose mastitis is very common disease in cows. And as per our study, almost 40% animals has a subclinical level of mastitis. And this ethno-veterinary medicine, that is use of herb, shrub, in-house material in the kitchen like turmeric, ginger. So that can be get it from, and we have printed more than 1 lakh of booklets for the promotion of it. And we have extension workers for that. And we observed this 20 of the most occurring veterinary diseases can be controlled by the ethno-veterinary medicine. And most of that mastitis best alternative to the antibiotic. It's good for the FMD and LSD, viral diseases. And the teeth obstruction I have seen from the worm, it's good. And it's only homemade made. Suppose if you consider the cost of mastitis at large by a treatment by veterinarian, maybe 3,000 to 5,000 rupees minimum. And EVM treatment with 88% result, it is just 50 to 100 rupees. So, if we follow the animal welfare and ethno-veterinary medicine, dairying business will prosper, farmer will get more profit and he will recommend more people to come in the business. We will discuss, if you have any questions, we will discuss in later as per the.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Sorry for, I think I have taken 6 minutes more. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil. Now, any questions?
For rest of the time, they are outside, but we have got all the trees, shade is there. Without shade, there will be a lot of heat stress and that will affect the milk yield also.
Yes, sir, you are right. Actually, in my picture, shades are there on the border of the compound fencing. Shades are there. Shades are required. Right. We cannot say the animal welfare farms are without shade. Shades are definitely required, even in monsoon, because season is this thing erratic. Last year there was a huge monsoon in the Maharashtra, so shades are required, no doubt. Right.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, I am a student from BSc Agriculture third year. My specialty is animal husbandry. So, you were talking, I was saying that about the worm infestation. So, I would like to ask you what are the preventative measures that you are taking for that?
Yeah. Worm infestation. No? So, usually this infestation is treated with drugs earlier, but now we are recommending maybe albendazole, febendazole is commonly used this thing drugs to control the worm infestation. Nowadays, ethno-veterinary treatment is available in ready form. I don't have exactly details of this thing, but I can share a booklet with you that you can go for the homemade recipe for that.
So, since I'm studying animal husbandry, one of my, something that I would like to add, that is something that I have found out through me practicing animal husbandry is that, areca nut, that is, pan, what we are eating, the areca nut.
Areca nut, right.
So that has, in my experience, has proven to be a best, preventive method for worms.
Yeah.
So I have given areca nuts to my cats, dogs. So first of all, I would like to say that yes, there is a when you are putting areca nut in the system, they will feel a little bit wobbly. They will feel a little bit problem, whatever is there. But later on, through the stool, whatever is there that albendazole could not do, I have seen areca nut do it. So that is local, that is cheap, that is much better, that is organic, sir.
You are perfectly right.
Madam. Yeah,
and areca nut is in poultry treatment.
You're right.
Since last 25 years. You are right, perfect. Your observation is perfectly right. It's a best dewormer. Perfect, right.
Any more questions? This will be the last question.
And what I could say about your animal welfare one, let me just add to it. If you look into the breeding objectives, which is coming out in European countries now, one of the things which they are now including in the breeding objectives is the fitness traits.
Yes.
Fitness traits is basically where you are basically working into it, the animal welfare part, where we are looking into it that keep an animal happy and she produces more.
Yes.
Where they have said now it's now no longer the earlier protocol where we are looking only into productivity and the reproductivity part of it. If you look into the recent thing which is happening in the European countries, in some even in American systems also, fitness traits is basically being considered as a parameter for selection. And now many of the traits which are highly heritable are basically considered. So it's not only the productivity and the reproductivity which is basically mattering now, it's also the fitness traits, and these are basically nothing what you are doing, the welfare traits.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anil. Dr. Anil, probably Schreiber Dairy is one of the few dairies looking at animal welfare. And ethno-veterinary medicine for animals is something, a very, very specialized subject which requires more discussions. So anybody wants more information on ethno-veterinary and also the animal welfare farms, you all can get in touch with Dr. Anil. Now I would invite the next speaker, Mr. Naresh Kumar from Biomurix. Mr. Naresh Kumar will be speaking about microbiology and food security, food safety concerns, raw milk quality, in fact, quality of milk across the food chain, and also some regulatory segments of the government. And they also will be talking about rapid testing solutions for milk and milk products.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so yes, we are talking about food security here, and we have talked about the chemical parameters specifically, which are the focus when we are talking about the raw milk testing and finished product testing. But yes, microbiology is something which is, I can say, not highlighted in last, specifically in India. So it's not of a major concern or a major highlight for dairy sector. So I'll talk about okay, it's not working. Okay. So yes, there is some data from WHO website, and we can see the threat because of microbial contamination. So there are even deaths which are happening because of unsafe food. So it's okay, it's fine, no problem, no issue. So you can see here, there are around 4 million deaths every year which are happening because of consumption of unsafe food. And we can see this data from Southeast Asia region also here. And also there is threat to the children below age of 5. And you can, and as already mentioned, that milk and milk products are something which are already like consumed in a high, we can say, in our daily consumptions. And the entry of microbial agents into our food results in food poisoning. And we have recently heard the food poisoning cases even in the processed product, which are linked to the consumption of children. So here we can see the global scenario of raw milk quality, and you can see the total bacterial count which is different in different countries. So yes, the milk quality depends on many factors, as already mentioned by Dr. Anil. And we can see here the count of the bacteria, the load is very, very high in India. So microbial safety is something which is also linked to the quality of milk produced at the farm level. And we can say the practices the farmers are following to take the milk, to store, to transport, all those are considered, are the factors which link to the increase in the microbial load. So here are some specific target organisms which are concerned of food safety. So we can see here bacteria, viruses, parasites, toxins, and chemicals. So chemical parameters are already in focus, and you can see now even the farmers knows that yes, they have to test for aflatoxins. Okay, but nobody talks about the pathogens. Okay, nobody knows that salmonella can cause much more harm. So yes, you can see here the data. There is 110 billion US dollars which are lost every year in productivity and medical expenses resulting from unsafe food in low and middle income countries. So this load is very, very high. You can see how much money we are just wasting because of the food safety concerns. So yes, as mentioned, the milk is used throughout the world as a human food, at least one form or more. And conditions for contamination of raw milk at different critical points are due to less hygienic practices, pre-milking, other preparations, suboptimal hygiene of milk handlers, and poor sanitation practices associated with milk and storage equipments. So this is something which is a major concern in India. And yes, as we know that there are many awareness programs, government as well as the dairy industries are conducting to make the farmers aware that how to do the things at the farm level. So here are some the organisms which are concerned with the food contamination. And the indication of presence of these organisms can lead us to the source from where this contamination is coming. For example, the coliforms and E. coli, which are okay, thank you. Okay, it's working. Okay, so here is the list. So I'll not go through all the organisms here, but yes, I would like to mention that yes, the presence of total coliforms is related to the fecal population in sanitary conditions of water, food, milk, and other dairy products. So these microorganisms are usually associated with foodborne diseases and outbreaks as recorded by official health organizations. So data can be observed at CDC website or WHO where you can find all these details. So here we can see the different levels from where this contamination is coming. Mammary gland health status. So again, health of the animal is very, very important. If there is any contamination or there is any disease to the animal, it may affect the quality of the milk. So the organisms here we can see specifically Streptococcus, aureus, and other related species are there. Cow herd health status. So you can see Mycobacterium is the major organism which can come if there is any health issue with the cow herd. Then production environment, yes, it's related to the process. There are different organisms like Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli, which are linked to the environment of the production. And finally, the production land and water source. You can see different organisms like coliform, bacillus, and all other organisms which may get into the milk and contaminate it. So the concerns, I have mentioned few points here which are majorly linked to the contamination of milk. Good practices, as I already discussed. Lack of testing infrastructure, which is again a very, very important factor which is impacting. Because right now, if you see the infrastructure, still we are in the situation where we are still building it. Government is also providing different like equipment for testing on the subsidized rate. But again, we are not up to the mark. And this is impacting, again, the quality of milk because you don't know what kind of contamination is going with that milk. Regulatory requirements, again, FSSAI is evolving and time to time they are changing the requirements depending on the type of target contaminations. Lack of awareness, yes, this is again a challenge and as I mentioned, there is a lot of work happening on this. Farm level issues, so sir has already discussed on this in the previous presentation. And yes, animal health, which is again a very, very major factor for this. Talking about regulatory requirements, if you see, there are many versions of the compendium which is published by FSSAI. They are continuously changing it. But why it's happening? Because we are also seeing the scenario what is happening all over the globe. So there are different initiatives which are taken into consideration, and the discussion with different countries, how we can reach that level where we can target the safe food for the consumer. So here we have opted the international standards for testing, and they have given specific criteria that what should be the minimum requirement for any safe milk released to the market. So I have mentioned few regulations here, code of hygienic practices, and international standards like ISO and FDA. Yes, as I mentioned that government has taken many initiatives, so there are many schemes which are there, like livestock health and disease control scheme, which is under the, government of India has released it. National Animal Disease Control Program, then there are Dairy Processing and Infrastructure Development Fund, and National Milk Quality Survey, which is happening time to time. So these are few, these programs are telling us that how focused government is also putting on the dairy sector and trying to improve the quality and production of the milk. Yes, now in the end, I'll just talk about rapid testing. So when we talk about the consumption of food products in India, we have a huge population. We are number one. So with that kind of population, the safe food is again a challenge. Okay, you have to provide food much faster to the people, right? And if we see the requirements of testing, it's very lengthy when we talk about conventional testing, because you have to give 5 to 6 days for the testing during the, like when you are releasing any product in the market. So rapid testing is required so that you can ensure that your food product is safe, and second, it is in the market much faster. So we are into rapid microbiology solutions, where even for the conventional test where it's taking 6 to 7 days, within 1 to 2 days you can get the final results. All the methods are validated as per the global standards and approved by FSSAI under RAFT program. And it's for major, like we have full complete FMLA solutions, starting from the initial sample preparation till the identification of results. So you can test the product with minimum time, and final confirmation steps also are very rapid in this case. So it's and also we are working with FSSAI to see how we can position the products in the market which are easily available and used by different manufacturers as well as testing laboratories. And also we are moving towards the augmented diagnostics, which is something we can say the prediction of the contamination. So there is a program which can tell you that yes, the microbial load, the trend has changed in your facility, and there are chances of contamination. So that is something where we are working, and there's a, we can say it's a clubbing of different solutions, and finally giving you an idea that yes, your organization, your plant has some issues where you have to focus. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any questions, we can take it.
Thank you, Naresh, for your very comprehensive presentation. As they say, microorganisms require 3 things to grow. They need food, they need temperature, and they need time. And milk is a perfect thing for microorganisms to multiply. Because milk is a good food. Temperature in the villages in India is ranging from 10 to 35 degrees centigrade. And they say microorganisms multiply fastest at this temperature. So, and also that because of that, we should focus our attention on clean milk production and procurement. So with this, thank you very much, Naresh. Any questions to Mr. Naresh?
I don't have a question to him, but I was wondering who tests samples from the National Milk Survey? Who is doing this testing? The FSSI collects samples from all over India. So who are the laboratories who are doing this testing? Maybe someone from regional academia.
So they have a setup of NFLs and NRLs. So basically these are the labs very closely working with FSCI on method development, reference method development, and also, if there is any change required as per the local, matrices, because we have spices, we have, very complex matrices where, the standard AOC and FNR approved method cannot work sometimes. So, they are working very closely with the NFL and NRLs. Other than that, they have a network of 300 plus private labs, which is certified by FSCI to test the food samples. And all of these labs are NAVL accredited. So, now there are a lot of development, but yes, we are still, way behind then to reach that perfection level,
Can we have your name, please?
I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself. I'm Hemant, heading the marketing operation for Biomerio South Asia.
And when the result is expected to be out?
So, sir, one survey is already completed in 2019, I think. Yeah. So current, sir, I am not sure. I think, yeah.
It is going
yes.
on. Yes.
Yes. So I am timeline. I am not sure on timelines.
So I'm Professor Suresh Subramaniam from Dairy Technology, Veterinary University. So in the picture you are showing that the raw milk quality of US is around 3 into 10 power 5, and in India it is 2 into 10 power 6. That means that is 3 lakhs and this is 20 lakhs.
Yes.
But this is a story we have been telling for a long time. And actually this has come down. I don't know why it is always projected like that. Our raw milk quality is the best at the time of milking. So it gets spoiled only in the transport. So
Yes,
I
sir.
feel that we have to comment that in a different way, because it implies indirectly the poor status of Indian milk, which is the highest producer in the country. So even the Codex Alimentarius norms are considered this. They are not considering the actual practical problems here. So the export and other processes are impaired with all these things. So I would like to have some comments on this.
Yeah.
Thank you. From the forum also.
Just to add to the raw milk quality, as per my experience and present status, what we test the SPC count, there are no European standards. May say something 3 lakh up to 3 lakh, 4 lakhs, maybe 2 lakhs. But for India, it is not defined. We refer the EU standards. And secondly, at field level, with my testing and experience, it is up to 8 lakhs, under standard condition. And we are not talking about the waste or deteriorated milk, but farm fresh milk is having definitely low count. It is the only supply chain, value-added
Yes.
chain that
We are
which
talking
is
about
the
8
plant.
lakhs per ml.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, up to 8 lakhs. And as I mentioned in my PPT also, subclinical mastitis is the only major thing that is contributing more SPC count. Thank you.
So yes, anyway, sir, milk when it's coming from the udder, it's kind of sterile product. But when we are, because then again the challenge is because we are collecting milk from different like small milk producers, then it's coming to the dairy. During that course of time, it's again multiplying in very like fast manner. And when we are testing it at dairy, we are getting very, very high counts. In that case. So, yes, yes. Sure, sir. I'll look into it. Yes, sir, maybe, yeah.
And it's not, it's changing. Everyone has
Yes.
India, you will find all kinds of here.
Yes, yes, definitely. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you once again. Let's give him a big hand. So our next speaker is Dr. Vaisak Mohan. He's the co-founder and CEO of a company called iVet Labs, which is a startup, and he's into some very important work. He's doing critical diagnostics both in dairy and poultry. And that is something which all of us will agree in India, in most of the villages, diagnosing diseases, doing blood sample testing, urine sample testing is something we don't have in most majority of the villages. And Dr. Mohan has started this startup, and he will tell us more about it. It is not only disease diagnostics, he's also doing testing for early pregnancy, which is again going to benefit our dairy farmers. So he'll talk more about it.
Hi all. So very good afternoon to all of you, and I thank all my organizers of this event and for this session for me. I think I will be the youngest in this. And I thank Rasa sir also for inviting me to spread my few years of experience with you experts. So I will be more focusing about veterinary diagnostics in dairy sector, that too in a organized sector, not in a small farming. I still remember when I started my lab 4 years back, one of my doctor client, he told me like, Vaishak, why you give this testing for this farmer? He's losing a lot of money in testing and all. Rather advise him to buy a 1 kilo of mineral mixture or something like that. Then that will benefit the farmer. So I just didn't tell him anything. I continued my work. And now I am serving the entire cattle community in Kerala. So I'll be focusing more on dairy cattle, who is more into sustainable, organized dairy farming. So as an introduction, I have to introduce you all about these things. In dairy farming, in poultry farming, it's all in decades of since this has been into practice. Like regular monitoring and disease prevention is most important thing in poultry farming. But in dairy farming, fortunately, it is not that much, they are not paying that much attention. They are more into producing milk rather than they are not looking into the productivity from the same animal. So it is always better to have that prevention rather than going for a treatment after the occurrence of the disease. Then a farmer or the manager must look into multifactorial nature of the diseases. Most of the diseases not only affect different organ systems, rather it will directly affect the productivity of the animal. So that is an important thing. Then I emphasize on epidemiology, like the disease forecasting, when this outbreak will come, the data analysis, what are the major diseases in that particular location. These all has to be known by that particular farm manager. Then the farm manager has to always follow an integrated, holistic, proactive, data-based, economically framed approach. It's all self-explanatory. Like integrated means he have to look all together, like only from the not only from the milk production view aspect, but also from byproducts, everything from that, and holistic approach, proactive, like he should be always looking into what is happening around, and he should take care of that precautionary measures, data-based. Every data should be collected and well recorded, and should be economically framed manner. Like it's not all about sophisticated machines or all. He has to do it in an economically sound manner. Then we have discussed all these things: health, productivity improvement, disease prevention. They have to focus on that. And about the veterinarians now are acting as like a physician or clinician. Like once a disease occurs, he is looking forward about the treatment aspect. Rather, he has to inform the farmer about what will happen if you do this thing, and how it can control your this particular disease outbreak, and indirectly how this can affect your productivity from that farm. And the integration of nutrition. in the dairy sector, most of the diseases are affected from the improper nutrition management and housing and other farm management practices. And definitely the subclinical conditions. Unfortunately, we all know about the subclinical mastitis, but we are not bothered about subclinical ketosis, subclinical hypercalcemia, and many other subclinical conditions. Most of the cows here in India are carriers of many of the diseases. Even some of them are zoonotic. So these things you have to be clear, and now we are going to the major segment. So ease of knowledge, I have I have classified the lactation cows based upon a lactation cycle. That is, in a farm we are keeping the animals grouped like this. So we'll have a dry period, early lactation, mid lactation, late lactation, and in the dry period we have far off period and close off period. So lactation curve, everyone will be knowing that. It's self-explanatory. And before coming to detail, let me ask you, see how much economic loss it is happening for a farmer. Mastitis is very notorious. Once mastitis happens means there will be a production loss, there will be a therapeutic loss. And it will continue till the next cycle, lactation cycle. A hemoparasite, once it comes means, first and foremost, there will be a production loss. Again, there will be a lactation loss. Then comes infertility. What happens in infertility? What will be the aim of a farm manager? He has to reduce the intercalving period. But due to the infertility, he say will not be successful, and that prolongs and makes a lot of losses. The list continues. Actually, this is a major notorious one I have listed. You can list the others as well. Coming to this thing, in the dry period we have divided into two, like far off and close off periods. Far off period is not that much significance. It is, we have to check only for the dry cow therapy management, all those things. But the close off period, this is the starting of the transition period. Transition period of a cow is it is a 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after calving. So we have to look, the major thing is for a farm manager start from the close off period. But in the most of the integrated progressive farms, what they will do, they will segregate all the close-up animals, and they'll give more attention towards that, because this cow is going to give them the production, right? So we have to take care of the utmost care. And in this, I want to mention two things. One is urine pH, one is complete blood count and blood smear examination. What is urine pH? It's very easy to see, test in the farm level itself. So just easy, we can use just a strip. Normally, the bovine or the dairy cattle urine is alkaline. But what happens in the calving period, it will be more towards acidic, around 6.6, 7, towards the acidic state. It is mandatory required. Otherwise, what will happen, there's a lot of chances for these kind of things. If more alkaline, subclinical hypercalcemia should be there because of the absence of this calcium metabolism. There is every chance for a hypocalcemia, but unfortunately, this hypocalcemia will not be evident. Only the clinical hypocalcemia, in which the milk fever we are seeing that, then only you will be able to see that. But in subclinical hypocalcemia, there will be a lot of production losses. So just by looking into the urine pH, you can just see the urine pH and do the things. DCAD is the dietary cation anion difference. So it is a direct indication of this, and we can supplement chlorides if there's it is more towards alkaline. And the next is important thing is the blood smear examination CBC. While if you have a check for CBC, look for anemic status. And if there is any anemia, you have to be checked and correlated. If anemia contributes directly to the production, first and foremost thing hemoparasite will be causing will be the production loss. That will be an indication. So, and anemia, there are a lot of reasons, not only hemoparasites, there are several reasons. So correct the anemia, check the anemia, and it should be corrected. Check for hemoparasite as well as gastrointestinal worms. Worms will also contribute to anemia. Then comes the early lactation. Once the animal is calved, this is also most important period. You have to be very vigilant upon this, because if mastitis comes means it's all over. Metritis may come. If retention of placenta is there is every chance for metritis. You have to be very thoroughly managed. Then sometimes mastitis and metritis both together will happen. It's the most dangerous thing also. The production will go drastically. The peak yield will be attained only after certain weeks. And the downer cow, that is quite common, but the testing is not usually done. What will happen? If a cow becomes downer, the doctor will first suspect for milk fever. They won't check calcium, they won't check phosphorus, they won't check magnesium. If they will supplement calcium. If calcium is not responding, means they will supplement magnesium. But I would say there are a lot of reasons for a downer cow, so you have to think in that way as well. Then definitely feed test is important, proximate analysis, it's important, multitoxin, especially aflatoxin. It's also a social economic loss. Energy should be checked. It's all, see, if you are using a good feed, it's not a problem, but most of the times they are not using pellet feeds. It will be a difficulty that you have to look for. And the milk test, general microbial testing, coliform count, total bacterial count, somatic cell count. This has to be checked. Mid-lactation, there is more chance for hemoprotozoans, but the production of metabolic diseases are very less. No need to look for that, but there's a chance for subclinical ketosis and all. It will be the initial period, early lactation itself. In this time, this is the crucial time for AA. The next insemination mostly happens after 2 months or 3 months, like that. So after 3 months, we will do an AA. Definitely, if it is an organized farm, we have to look for the open animals. If the AA is not successful, there is no excuse for keeping that animal for 3 more months for rectal palpation. Either if you should have a ultrasound scanner, or you should go for a blood test to check whether the animal is open or not. That will improve your loss of due to this type of loss drastically. Late lactation, there is not much interventions in laboratory diagnostics. You can follow a routine test like biochemistry, CBC, like that. And now I want to introduce you some major advances in disease prevention. One is epidemiology. You should make a data on this disease outbreaks and diseases. And you should make a proper data with a database, and that will help you not now, but in the future. Most of the diseases, you can see some examples over there. They are the result of proper data management. And this will be a balance of this health and disease is actually a balance. You have to keep that balance. The host, age, and environmental management. With that, you have to keep that balance. Otherwise, what will happen? You will make a loss, but it won't be a visible one. It will be a like you won't be knowing it's a loss, but you are occurring a loss actually. Focus on transition period. I've already mentioned you about the transition period. This is the most important period for a dairy farmer. This decides whether this animal is going to be a good producer or not any other thing. Along with, there are a lot of other factors, but in this transition period, you have to keep a lot of focus to those animals. Approximately 75% of the infectious diseases or metabolic diseases happens typically after first month of calving. That you should take care. And feed intake also, it's all come under nutrition, and prevention is the key. For the prevention, along with prevention, we have to look for the early detection. And in this, laboratory diagnosis play a good role. Then comes the adult health. For the mastitis, production loss and treatment loss will be there. Definitely, this is a production part, so you have to look for the adult health very crucially. You should check the milking machine function, early detection, treatment of clinical cases is very much important. Also, subclinical cases you have to manage properly. For that, somatic cell count routinely you have to do. And the management of milking, housing environment, dry period management, all those help in the management of environmental pathogens. Then comes the immunology. This is mostly into government side, like FMD, Brucella vaccines are done by government, so they are taking care of the vaccine efficacy. But if you are doing any of the other vaccines, definitely there should be a tighter testing, either to know whether this animal is protected or not. And these three terms, like infected animals. Infected animals is purely clinically manifested animals. Persistently ill animals is, the animal won't be having any disease, but the animal will be shedding the pathogens. Like in the case of bovine viral diarrhea and all, the calves born to a positive animal will be mostly persistently ill animal. So we have to eliminate that animal, otherwise it will spread the disease to others. And the vaccine protected animals, they will be asset for your farm. And cow comfort, same as doctor said, it's all about welfare thing. Stressed animal means it's the more chances to occur infections. So less stress means all good. And the stressful area is, one is production. If high production means the animal will be in stress. During the calving time, it will be in stress. In the drastic environmental changes, it will be stress. So reduce the stress, reduce the occurrence of diseases. Then calf health. If you are rearing a good organized farm, either you should source a good heifers from other farms, otherwise you have to rear the calves. If you are rearing the calf, you should look at the colostrum. What is happening, I will tell you. We are looking very constantly on the progenies. We are planning our breeding practices and making good progenies. But what happens? Most of the calves are being dead. The calf death percentage is very high in India. So the colostrum grading is more important. You can use a small refractometer to check that. And a gold colostrum is very much good for this calf health. Coccidiostats, it's already in the feed and all. And proper deworming should be done, because from the mother, the worms, they'll get worms. Nowadays, I think farmers are they are doing it properly. And day one weaning should be there. If calf scores or joint ill, we should have to implement rapid tests to identify pathogens rather than going for a broad spectrum antibiotic or any other treatment regimes. This is important because it will help in your future occurrences of the disease. And abortions is other same like if calf before calving it is aborted, it will cause a lot of loss to the animal farmer. There are infectious diseases, non-infectious diseases. There are several other categories like subclinical endometritis, all those things. Along with this, it should be taken care. And in a nutshell, I would say that as a take-home, you have to keep concentrations on the transition period, and always the prevention is better than cure. And there will be so many arguments like how this is going to be affecting the farmer economically. They have to spend a lot of money. See, this money, they are already losing a lot of money due to production loss. This will only save them. If they are spending 10% of the loss, they can earn more than that. That is what I have experienced. And thanks a lot. Thank you.
Dr. Vaisak, you should also mention the number of tests you have done.
See, I have in livestock, I have done more than 3 lakhs of tests in the last 3 years. And I am mostly, what my service is that I will go to the farmer, collect the samples, get a test done in my lab and give the result online. And they are happy with that. They are making more profit with my test. That's why I am happy with that. And Kerala, all over Kerala, we are giving service. Yeah.
No, Dr. Vaisak has put what all he's doing. It's not just theoretical. He's actually doing it. And interestingly, he's doing it from early lactation, mid lactation, and late lactation. Not only disease diagnostics, but also forecasting disease. Another important work he's doing is epidemiology. And what I personally feel is whatever data he's got is going to help the dairy industry, the milk unions, or the vet, or the government also. Thank you very much, Dr. Vaisak. Now,
thank you.
One.
During my visits, there is a lot of prevalence of theileriosis in south as compared to the other regions. Is it? Do you have data with respect to that?
Yes, I have. In Kerala, we have Theileria orientalis. In other parts, we have Theileria annulata. And orientalis is slightly different, and it's more of a sort of carriers. 80% of the animals is now having Theileria orientalis, but it's not clinically ill. What happens is that during the calving time, this will flare up and make problem for the farmer. And if it is a high-producing animal during the peak production, it will happen. Like that, it is happening. And this hemопроtecins is a headache now in Kerala.
Yeah, yeah. Because I have seen personally so many deaths.
Death, yeah, exactly.
Just
In one of
sudden
my
after
farm,
the calving,
you have heard of about JK farms. Around 100 animals have died. It's not a exaggerated figure. I have literally seen. In the past 2 years, they have lost 100 animals due to this. That too, mostly the pregnant animals. That is the most heartbreaking thing.
Yeah.
Dr. Mohan, speakers can ask questions. Okay, well, thank you. With the permission, yeah. Nowadays, this LSD is creating a big problem in the country as a whole. How about Kerala? Are they having any issues in LSD? Or the vaccine which they are given to the animal is having effective? Can you just throw some light so that the people who are sitting over here can have more ideas?
Sure.
Thank you.
Initially, when it happened, actually first happened in Odisha or something, then came to Kerala. But at that time, that was not that much a bigger problem. It's not clinically that much evident. It will they will have a subcutaneous like bumps on the skin, and that will fade away after 7 to 10 days. And then the next wave happened 2022. What happened is that in Gujarat, that belt, the LSD has hit a lot, in Maharashtra as well. But in Kerala, it's not that much a problem, actually. But there were some instances, in some of the farms, they have lost a lot of money because of loss of animals. Without proper management, they have lost. But as a whole, Kerala as a whole, LSD has not been a problem as of now. Omega Labs is there, no? Diarams. Practitioner veterinarians? They are happy with the actually the push comes from the farmer, but the doctors are happy with our works. They are choosing. Earlier, what happened is that, as I told you, the doctors have that complex. Oh, how should I tell a farmer to spend this much amount on 300 amount on this animal for just for a diagnosis? Then comes the treatment. So how can I tell them that type of mindset was there? Exactly. Now farmers are pushing them to do tests. So in our place, most of the farmers, what they will do, no? If I have given the concept of taking temperature, since the hemопроtecins are incidence is very high, the temperature they have to take, and once the temperature is high, they will see for 2-3 times. Once the temperature is more than 104 or 103, 105, they will directly go for the CBC and blood smear examination, and after that they will visit the doctor.
Yeah.
Self-funded or you want some venture capital?
No, we have self-funded. Yeah.
See,
in small animals, it's there, sir. In small animal market, it is there. Doctors are prescribing this.
So yeah, if you are running a complete cycle checkup, so what is the tentative costing for all those tests you work?
For my lab, the per test cost, average per test cost is 350. 300 is the, for CBC and blood smear, it is 300, including blood collection.
I'm asking the average total, the whole cycle. Do you running any packages for the cycle testing, or it just test oriented costing you have fixed?
We testing only we are doing now. We have some collaborators, they are doing the other parts. Because we are more focused on testing part only.
No, you're talking about like a comprehensive testing.
Yeah.
No, I think that right now they're not doing that. They're only focusing on testing for certain, like say, for certain diseases. And also, another thing he has not mentioned is they're doing blood tests to detect early pregnancy.
Yeah.
Which is they're able to do within 1 month, and then the farmer gets the result within 1 day, isn't it?
Yeah. I will tell you an example. If a organized farmer is they have done around 15 AA. They have doubt for 10 animals. In the, I would say, 10 animals they want to test. If the total amount they will have to spend will be 3,000. If they can save one animal, they will easily cover more than that. At least per month, I would say at least 8,000 rupees they have to spend per animal to rear, including feed cost. And so if they can find an open animal within 30 days, they can save 2 months.
Yeah, actually, this was a generalized discussion. That's how,
Yeah.
if you are focusing on a certain zone of a country, so it would be more interactive rather than generalized talking on that part. So the practical experience is what you are experiencing. So many people are working over there. Yeah. So that will be more fruitful in upcoming events actually. So,
Sure.
so that will highlight actual a fate. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mohan. Now I invite Dr. Prashant Shinde from Kargil, who will be presenting on animal nutrition.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Dr. Mohan, and I'll pick up from where Dr. Anil and Dr. Mohan had left. So I'll be talking on the nutritional interventions on whatever challenges these both have put forward. Okay, so first I'll start with the exciting news. What's transforming in the dairy sector, right? So I want you all to be invested in this sector. Then I'll give a new concept on herd lifetime productivity. It will be new to a lot of people. But then why it's important, and I'll present some data about Punjab case. Then again, the same interventions, transition and calf, why is nutrition important in those areas? And then what structural change needs to happen in the dairy sector, mainly with regards to feeding. And then I'll summarize. So, okay, so the exciting news. So dairy industry, if you're invested or if you are part of the value chain, next 20 years, you're all set. So a lot of changes are happening, genetics, the infrastructure investments, a lot of things are improving. Productivities have gone up, 6,000 liters. That's what we are getting on the data collected from farms in Punjab. And again, obviously, Punjab has led this development. So Punjab farmers are leading, and they are setting an example for all the other farmers across the country to follow. So Maharashtra I have seen following, South also their people are following. And if you really want to see that development, you should attend this PDFA Expo, which it will be there in February every year. But then still a long way to go. So personally, I feel there is a lot of opportunity for startups. Again, this diagnostics is one area. Then there are a lot of opportunities in the digital space, data recording, analytics space. And I believe next 2-3 years, we'll see a lot of startups coming in this sector. So again, last point, if you're in the dairy sector, any part of the value chain, there is excitement, 2 decades, you're safe. Okay, now coming to slightly what's transforming in the sector. Again, we say India is a smallholder, production system, 80% of the animal milk is coming from small farms and all other sorts. But then one of a milk processor in Punjab, they did a survey. Again, that might be a local specific survey, but I see that trend happening across the country. That will happen, that has to happen, because this is a global phenomena. So what is happening is 2 to 5 or less than 10 cow farms are going out of business. Farmers are not, they're not there. So what we see, or what our experience says, that Indian dairy farms will stabilize anywhere between 10 to 50 cow farms. So that's, again, that will depend on a lot of factors. A family, how many farms, animals they can manage with, say, one labor. And then other, social things will also impact it, like what are the wages, what's the infrastructure that's going to become. So long term, the story is 10 to 40 or 50 cow farms, that's where India will stabilize. Okay, so I've drawn that small middle chart. So that's not an India example, that's a Poland example. Data is from IFCN. And I draw this similarity because Poland is the size it's as good as Punjab, and the number of animals also quite close. And I see that similar structure, what happened in Poland, that's happening in Punjab, and long term that's going to happen across the country. Okay, so there is a lot of data on this slide. So let me start with herd lifetime productivity. It's a new concept. So as defined by Albert, so it's how many productive cycles a cow stays on a farm. Okay, so that's basically herd lifetime productivity. So we have a gentleman, Dr. Gavin Sterley, who has analyzed roughly 500,000 cows through say 150 herds in US and Canada. So he talks on this concept a lot. And why is this important? So the idea is, if you want to maintain sustainability of the herds or sustainability of the dairy systems, we need to ensure a cow has more productive life on a farm. Okay, so globally, a cow spends 2.2 to 2.5 lactation, that's average, on any farm. So interestingly, when we collected data in Punjab of 100 farms, we found that same number. So our number is 2.5 lactations a cow spends on a farm. Now the question is, why do cows leave a farm? But before going to that, why do farmers sell, say, third, fourth, fifth lactation cows? So there is a debate on young herd versus old herd. So it's obvious, right? So young herd, less disease, less expense on health issues. Old herds, more disease, so more expense on health. But then the counter to that is third, fourth, fifth lactation cows are the most efficient cows. So that's the twist. And if we really have to be sustainable, we need those cows on a farm. So one of our experts, he says like this: you are putting your son to the best graduate school, and you take him out before graduating. So that's what we are doing. We are selling our cows to someone else when we want to take their production on our farm. So that debate versus first to second versus third plus lactation cows gets settled. Now the thing is, why do the cows leave the farm? So Dr. Mohan has covered that. Transition diseases. What those include? Mostly, hypocalcemia. Again, that might be milk fever or subclinical hypocalcemia, subclinical ketosis. Mostly ROPs, retained placentas, followed by metritis. Then again, mastitis, you covered. Then there are a lot of lamenesses, injuries. And then there is voluntary farmers sell because there is less production or there are reproduction issues. So these are voluntary selling which farmers do of their cows. Now, Dr. Vollu mentioned heat stress. So this is the only component that's impacting all the above. So if we have to really look at our Indian conditions, we have 4 to 5 months of heat stress minus Kerala. Kerala is the whole year. And why I say that? Because it's not temperature, it's temperature plus humidity. So the THI is really stressed. So if our Indian dairy has to be sustainable, we have to find solution. How do we elevate or how do we reduce the heat stress conditions? So again, observe the results of a Punjab data. So we have like 100 farms data. So again, herd size, 24 animals. And look at the interesting parameters. So days in milk, we are getting 270. So we understand Punjab, they do seasonal breeding. So late lactation cows would be more. So again, the thing is lactation length, 360 days. And if you see the lactation yield, so it's a multiple of your average production and lactation length. So we are getting 6,000 plus liters of lactation, but then we are getting it in 360 days. Typically, we say like 300 days or 305 days lactation yield. So another interesting thing. So 2.5 parities versus say 6,000 liters of milk. So if you do that multiple, it will come around say 15,000 liters. So we are saying a cow will produce 15,000 liters of a herd lifetime productivity on Punjab farms. Now, if you'll ask me what should be the benchmark for Indian farms, I'd say it should be 40,000 liters or 40 tons. A cow should produce 40 tons on a farm. So to increase that, what we need to do, we have to increase that lactation on a farm from say 2.5 to say 3.5 or 4 lactations. And again, increase the yield as well. So another interesting point which we noticed is days open. So days open is 154. So whoever says a calf a year, so that concept is flawed. Okay, it's not practical. And another interesting is days to first AI. So different farms have different days, how much they keep open. But then if we have to work on that area, how we get it, well into waiting period to 55, 60 and inseminate the cows earlier. So again, with all these observations, what we found that where the interventions are needed, again, so it's very easy, very clear. Transition, again, body weights as first lactation. Cows, heifers, first lactation, heifers body weight. So I'll come to that. And then what feeding we do to our calves. Okay, so I'm a big speaker of these two stages, very critical stages in the life cycle of the cow, and again, often the most neglected ones. The right picture is a transition cow just calved and the calf. So these are the most critical phases in the life of a cow. Okay, so transition, so you have covered it, right, Dr. Mohan, so the transition period. So what's happening during that period? During that period, the cow is going through a lot of physiological stress, stopping of milk production, a lot of hormonal changes happening. It's carrying the calf inside, which is, in the last 2 months, is growing like 30-40% of its total body weight. A lot of hormonal changes, liver stress, a lot of changes are happening during this period. So I'll talk about the nutrition, first. So let's see how the nutritional changes, happen from far up to close up to fresh. And intentionally, I've mentioned the body weights. So the dry matter intake, so how it changes from 8 kgs to say 11 to 12.5 kgs in close up to say 17 or 16 kgs roughly in fresh cow. Then protein, obviously it changes, net lactation of energy. And vitamin E. Vitamin E is very critical, especially for the close-up and fresh cows. So the point here is we don't look at these nutrients. So if you ask me where should the Indian smallholder or any farmer focus on is ensure that his cows have that required dry matter intake, at least 10 kgs of dry matter intake, and I'll tell you from where it can come from during close-up period. So that's the key. Okay, in addition to that, so nutrition is not the solution. Okay, so if you say that I'll give the best nutrition, but then I'll not give the cow comfort or not take care of the cows, it's useless. Then don't give that best nutrition. So what care needs to be taken? Again, if you test all those things, that's welcome. But then in addition to that, far-off cows, it's easiest to maintain, easiest to manage. The diets are easiest in far-off cows. You can feed as much, if you have good quality forage, 70-75 kg forage, you can feed them. Check the body condition scores. They should not be too fat. Do all the basic hoof trimming, check for ectoparasites, anemia, blood profile. Then close up cows. So again, we should have a close up pen wherein, cows are kept like at least 5-7 days before calving. All the feed, water should be available within, 2 feet or 2 meters of that cow. And the bedding should be really good. So indirectly what I'm saying is the cow should have a good comfort, at least during this period. Then fresh cows. So once calving happens, what records? Record keeping is important. If that cow, if it's showing abnormal behavior, you are feeding on the bunk, if it's not coming, then there is an issue. So taking temperatures. Milk fever, so not milk fever, I'll say subclinical hypocalcemia. Regardless of what's happening, each cow is under subclinical hypocalcemia. So calcium feeding protocol. Immediately after calving, just give a ionic calcium product, and that should take care of that. Cow comfort, all the stages, cow comfort, cow comfort, cow comfort. So that's the key. And again, if you have to have everything successfully, take care of heat stress of all these stages. So interestingly, we are just coming out of heat stress in Punjab, okay? And what we have noticed is calvings that happen in September or even October and mid-November, up to mid-November. whatever calvings happen, the number of, what you say, early calvings is close to 80%. The cows, they don't complete their due dates. Second important observation is retained placenta cases, more than 25 to 30%. And again, it's all because of heat stress. And once those farmers who take care of heat stress, their retained placenta cases go down to say 15%. But then the point here is heat stress is the spoiler. Okay, so I gave an example of diets, again considering silage, because that's future, it has to be silage, otherwise the industry will not sustain. So typical diets to how to get that 11 to 12 kgs of dry matter in close-up period and say 16 kg of dry matter in fresh period. So how much corn silage straw and how much transition feed plus milk. And if you ask me what's the cost of say close-up period for 30 days, so I consider 40 kg transition feed plus milk feed average at 5 kg and including 30 days, it comes at say 10,000 rupees during that whole period. And how many liters of milk it will be required to get that return? So it's like 300 liters. I'm pretty sure well-managed transition will give you 1,000 liters of additional milk. Yeah, and in addition to that, feeding tips would be, make a TMR, mix everything, ensure the cow eats everything. Then ensure that post-calving the cow is kept separately, a fresh group is there for at least 3 weeks so that you can monitor those cows and they are still stressed. So if they are housed together, all stressed cows, so they'll feel more comfortable rather than, moving them to a high group. So one interesting observation is farmers like to feed cooked grain immediately after calving. So my suggestion would be to completely avoid that because we don't need high starch during that fresh period. That spoils everything. That spoils the rumen health. And then long term, you will not be able to get good production. Okay, so again, coming to the calf feeding. So calf feeding, I tell you, is like, let's keep it very simple. 5 C's of calf nutrition is like colostrum, calories, comfort, again, comfort, cleanliness, and again, doing all these things consistently. And let's take an example. Why is colostrum feeding important? So there was an article in Feeding Info, feeding colostrum 4 liters versus 2 liters in the first hour of birth. So 4 liters fed calves, what was the impact? Okay, disease resistance we understand, but then average daily gains during that early stage, plus additional milk production over 2 lactations, 1,000 liters, plus 70% less cost on on treatment of calves. So there are a lot of additional benefits. So how much colostrum needs to be fed? So we tried to assess the IgG level. This depends on IgG levels in colostrum. Again, refractometer can be used. So typically, good colostrum will be anywhere having more than 50, say, grams of IgG. And what are the good levels to feed? So at least 150 grams of IgG should be fed. The cow should intake. So that will be like 3 to 4 liters of colostrum. Again, we can go back and calculate how much is the blood or serum IgG levels of a calf. Again, if that's more than 10 gram, then that's really good. Another interesting concept, mature body weight of cows. So what's interesting is, what's the mature body weight? So mature body weight of a cow is any cow between, say, 3/3 or third plus lactation, and in 80 to 120 or 150 days in milk. So that's when, cows in positive energy balance and maybe before pregnancy. So those cows' weight of a farm would be the mature body weights of that farm. Okay. Now, why is this important? So it's important because basis that mature body weight, we can target the body weights of calf during first calving, body weights of calf, during AI. So if I'll ask the farmers, does anyone know what the mature body weights are? Say, no. So I ask the farmer, okay, how do you decide AI? When do you do the AI? Say, we do it on months. We target age at first calving in 24 months. Okay. Then I said, what body weights? Said, we don't know. So what our observation is, most of the cows in Maharashtra, so even in Punjab, most of the first lactation heifers are underweight. So they are like 350 to 400 kgs body weight. Now you expect those cows to give you good milk production, that's not going to happen. So the cows should at least be 500 or more than 500 kgs of body weight, first lactation heifers, to actually produce that milk. So our case, we say 400 kgs. So if we have 100 kgs additional body weight on that cow, that's more than 1,000 liters of milk for that first lactation. So that's the significant impact which we can get. Okay, so this is going to be my last slide. Again, it's lots of data. So again, what structural change we have to do? So I see that only 15% of the farms are actually using compound feed, and most of them are still not using 100% compound feed. They are still feeding along with different ingredients. So again, what's driving the farmers' basis this behavioral? Why they are not buying compound feed? So it's again cost, awareness, what's easily available. So a lot of factors are. So one common observation which I find mostly in Maharashtra, farmers are using 3 or 4 different types of green fodder, or maybe 2 or 3 different types of dry fodder. So that's interesting. So I asked the farmer, why you are feeding? He said, it's available. I said, okay, it's available, or you want your cow to eat. So cows, they don't need different types of ingredients. Cows need nutrients. Okay, so simplify the operation. Just keep 1 green fodder or silage and 1 dry fodder. That's a simplified operation, right? So another observation, 90+% cases, whatever we observe, farmers are feeding less than the required dry matter intake. And the result of that is cows will give milk. Early fresh cows, regardless of you're not feeding them the right dry matter, they'll give milk because they are using their own body condition to produce milk. Now, what's the impact of that? Post calving 1 month or 2 months, you will see cows body condition going down dramatically. You see a lot of such cows in Maharashtra. I have not gone south, so I can't comment on that. But in Maharashtra, you will see a lot of such cows, in Punjab. So and then this poor body condition leads to poor reproduction, and then another thing is I've mentioned the classical diets. I've used one of our most expensive product to considering 520 kg body weight of cow and 20 liters of production with components, and what we say is for this liter we need 16 kgs of dry matter. So I try to balance a diet, corn silage, wheat straw with the product, ensuring that it's close to 16 kgs of dry matter. And then I took the same forage and used the traditional, farmer feeds traditional. He's a nutritionist, farmer is a nutritionist. So he feeds his own diet of, say, a mixture of corn, wheat bran, and cotton seed cake. That's a common feeding practice which happens in Maharashtra. So price-wise, cost-wise, yeah, definitely his farmer's feeding is 15 rupees cheaper than what when he'll feed compound feed. But then, I don't know, the picture is not clear. On the nutrient-wise, the total diet energy, NAL is less, and most importantly, the diet RDP and the total protein is less when he's feeding his own ingredients. So the point is, so I make this comment, there are 3 or 4 different formulas or diets that happen. So one is a nutritionist gives a diet, then the farmer or the owner tells the labor that this is the diet, then the third diet is a labor makes or what he feeds the cow, that's the third diet, and there is a 4th diet, what the cow eats. Now that's the very complex operation. So we need to follow up on all the 4 things so that the difference or variation is minimized. So with all these challenges, so another challenge is, so India is a roughage feeding system, and that's interesting. So we have a lot of straws, and we have to ensure the right use of straws. So we feed a lot, and farmers are happy feeding straws. You know what has happened? The price of straws, any straw, wheat straw, you consider rice straw, you consider kadba kutti in Maharashtra, the price have gone up to 13, 14 rupees a kg. Okay, as a nutritionist, you ask me, do cows need straws? I said they don't. Okay, then why is the farmer feeding? Because he's used to feeding those straws. Okay, and okay, there is an obvious benefit of straws because it forms a rumen mat on in the rumen, and it ensures that there is anaerobic conditions, and then it will give some physical effect of rumination. But beyond that, If you check the dung, it's available in the dung. Okay, and no one is wrong. The reason is our education system. You will ask any nutritionist, okay, what are you taught? He says 2% body weight, blah, 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 and 30% roughage, 40%, and that has to change. That has to change from the thumb rule based diet to a balanced diet. So I don't know. So that's, I'm a speaker for this, to all the institutes, to, ICR, everyone, that, we have to change the format. It has to move from thumb rules to actual balanced diet. So what are the potential solutions in addition to that? So one is obviously educating the farmers, developing the right proofs, key feeder farms, ensuring you have successful farms and bring other farms to see those farms. So that's why I encourage most of the farmers in Maharashtra or whoever I meet, come to Punjab. We'll show you how dairy farming is done. And then they can come back and implement those things. And lastly, we have to also train the vets so that they give the right advice to the farmers on nutrition. Okay, to summarize, so sustainability and success of the small size. Again, for me, the small size definition is 10 to say 40 or 50 cow farms. So for those farmers to be, they have to be successful. Okay, so and their success is very closely linked to herd lifetime productivity. Okay, we want cows to spend more time on a farm, 4th, 5th, 6th lactation. Okay. And again, nutrition and cow comfort at 2 critical stages, your transition and calf and heifer period is going to ensure that cows have better herd lifetime productivity. And shifting to balanced diets from traditional roughage feeding mindset. So that's also going to ensure. And farmers' focus should be more on ensuring he secures and he has a year-long inventory of forages. Rather than being a nutritionist, he should focus on ensuring this forage quality and also ensuring he focuses on management and cow comfort. And lastly, if you don't tackle heat stress, whatever it is you do, it's not going to give you results. Yeah. So thank you. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. Two things Dr. Prashant said even changed my understanding. One is he said the 5th and 6th lactation you get the highest milk yield. I always thought it was the 2nd and 3rd. And another thing he said was the first lactation cows weigh around 500 kg. I always thought it should weigh only around 300 to 350 kg. Maybe the cows in Maharashtra are different from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So any questions to
Yes,
Dr. Prashant? Please give your name before you...
Yeah, my name is Professor Sandeep Banerjee. I'm coming from Calcutta. Your things, I can understand, it's perfectly working with Holstein Friesians. Perfect. But when it comes to India, you see majority of our people, they are having the crossbreds with unknown parentage. Many of them are having the local cows. It will again basically, your things will change. Another thing which is basically, most of us, we forget. The quality of the forage depends on the quality of the soil. So if we take the forage as a granted, unless or until the soil is basically tested, because that's where the forage is growing. So where we forget about it. The quality of water, it's basically quite challenging. Because, in many parts of the country where I come from, the water is, virtually, it's in a mess. It's in a mess. So you cannot expect the cow to produce when this such type of condition is there. As far as my understanding about the cow industry goes, I don't expect that the silage feeding thing will last for more than 15 years from now. It is going to, the bubble is going to burst. The reason why it is going to burst is very simple. Because you see, the land fragmentation you cannot stop. The farmers will always prefer to grow cereals rather than forage crops because the land is becoming lesser and lesser. As you are very correct, the smallholder farmers are going to go out because most of the things you can, from the very first day we are saying, 70% of the smallholder farmers is the women who are doing it. Women, in the next 10 years, you will see that the number of women who are in the farming goes down drastically, dairy farming especially. Because, the girls are now coming into education and they don't want to go for the dairy farming. That's a very simple answer. Now, when I look into all these sectors, how do you see our Indian cattle is going to perform? And second, what about, you are saying roughage based, straw based, yes, and that's going to stay. And that's where I prefer, but Dr. Wali and his team must have carried out a lot of work out there, is to improve the quality of feeding the non-conventional feed. That's where Indian dairy, if it can do it, Indian dairy sustains. We should not follow the American system. It will never work. The non-conventional feed, if you are not incorporating, if you are not using it balancedly, my dear sir, I don't say it. Holstein, I have worked with Holstein. Holsteins are perfect animals, excellent, very good animals. But what about the majority of the people who are having crossbreds and with of unknown parentage? How do you go into that?
I'll come to that. That's a good question.
Thank you, Doctor.
That's the debate we have every day with a lot of people. So the basic thing is, even crossbred animals, okay, we have never tested their potential, right? So I remember we have like a lot of crossbred cows in Western Maharashtra, from we are farmers' children. So I remember milking a 40-liter cow in 90s. Okay, maybe that was a bigger cow. So the point here is, even our crossbred cows, if we consider third plus lactation cows, if a farmer has those cows and considers their body weight as a mature body weight and he back calculates it, still that, mature body weight of those cows should be like 550 to 600, anywhere. Okay. And then if he back calculates it, so Jersey, then the weights will differ. Okay. So my point was mainly from the Holstein side. Okay, Jersey, obviously the whole story changes, right? So I didn't specify the breed, but I just, because Jersey is a good population, a small population, but most of it's Holstein crossbred. Yeah, but it's a fair point. Regarding the silage debates, I don't want to go into the debate on that. So the smallholder farming fragmented, we have seen that. Working in Punjab, we know that most of the Punjab farmers, everyone has small land holding, but then they buy corn and they build their own silage inventories. So yesterday we were there in yesterday's DDGS channel, panel. Government is going to put a lot of emphasis on increasing the corn productivity because they want to divert corn for ethanol production. So again, the sustainability point, government wants to move away from your rice paddy growing thing because it's not sustainable, water and all the things. So corn farming will be there, it will stay and it will grow. Okay, I was not expecting Maharashtra to pick up corn silage, but you go to any farm, he'll have a tote 1,000 or 500 kg bag in front of his house filled with silage. Again, there are different pros and cons for that, but then that was an eye-opener for me. So South, I see farmers talking. So whether it is sustainable or not, so that's again, it's a long story, but then, cow needs nutrients, right? So if you can provide it from corn silage or any other good quality green fodder, it will help. But then if you provide it through roughage, then we'll have to live with say 2,000 liters yield and we have to be happy. So that's our choice, right? So we want to be, yeah, that's the truth. I agree that. I agree. I totally agree on that. But then, see, from the nutritionist point of view, if you want to explore the potential of a cow, we have to feed it as per the potential. Okay, it's our choice, right? So farmer has a choice. That's why he's feeding so much quantity of roughage. That's why he's feeding.
In my part of India, you don't get free fodder at all.
So agree. So what we can do is there are a lot of unconventional forages.
Yeah, that's what has to be worked on.
Yeah, and we can use it. So I'll give a small example. So if you may allow. So we have time, right? So there is this corn cob, okay, which is burnt. Okay, it's one of the best material. Okay, what do we do with that? We burn it. Okay. It can replace your forage. It can replace your roughage. So it's a good source. Okay, but then we are wasting it. So such type of unconventional things can be used. Okay, then there are a lot of other things, and India has that a lot of work on this. So things will come up, wet byproducts, distilled byproducts, or from starch industry byproducts from those industries. So those will come up. So those will help in bringing the cost down. But then, see, the point here is we have to feed a balanced diet. We cannot feed a roughage-based diet. So that's the point I want to make.
Okay, we have just 5 minutes more. Any more questions?
Sir, you've given a very good explanation about the feeding and other things. And you said we cannot follow the thumb rule. Okay. But the rumen remains the same, whatever be. It needs to be provided with the dry matter, then only you can follow. But in your study, I have seen that you have put only on silage. Is it right that table shows only silage, no green fodder?
No, so okay. So I'll correct. So silage or green fodder. Okay. The thing is.
Okay. But if you because if the total expenditure you see is 410 rupees, okay, you have driven a 20-liter production. So normally the water cost will be 60% of it. So you calculate it on 30 rupees or what is the cost of milk? Then I can.
So cost of milk I calculated 30 rupees.
30 rupees. So for 600 rupees you are spending 410 rupees. Okay.
Yes, so that will be per liter would be closer to 25 rupees. Yeah.
So, but it is exceeding 60% of the feed.
Yeah,
cost.
so the production will also go up, right? So the production will also go up. So what happens is the production, so typically fresh cows or say early lactation cows will at least produce like 1.4 to 1.8 liters per kg of dry matter intake. So with this you can get say 24 or 25 liters.
A little more only, it's not 20.
Not 20. So.
Okay. And you are not mentioned about silage, because in the slide it is silage.
I mentioned silage, the reason is easy to balance. So you can.
Silage quantity can be reduced
compared
to green fodder.
You can take out silage. You can use the green fodder, but then what you'll have to do is the dry matter.
I want to know, can you go with this thumb rule? Now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are given 21 kg of silage and 2 kg of dry fodder.
So it will depend on the dry matter in the silage.
Okay.
So here I mentioned like 27 to 30% dry matter. So our analysis says that different areas have different dry matter. Punjab.
This will be a good thing if you are allowing us to follow. But I want to get it clarified that only silage and 2 kg of dry fodder is enough.
Yeah, you can do it. It's enough. The only thing you have to check is the dry matter of the silage. And accordingly, you will have to increase or decrease the quantity of silage.
And your supplement is milk gen, no?
I just put my best product, most expensive product, so that farmers, they can see the cost and say, okay, is cost maybe banti hai.
Probably it will be ameliorating the problems what you was telling in mineral deficiency and everything comes into the mineral supplement. So that is ruled out. So that can be taken as a formula for us. No problem.
No problem.
I think you should have a separate discussion with him during your lunch break.
Thanks.
One more question.
Myself,
Be very specific in your question.
Yes. Myself, Pradeep Khedkar. Actually, I am a silage manufacturer from last 7 years, and I have observed that silage is the boon for dairy industry. Right now, I am facing the problem that there is many competitors in silage industry right now, but there is a quality concern. So, if we can organize that seminars, something like that, for the quality improvement, that is one point. And second point that Mr. Banerjee has already mentioned, that is fragmentation of land. So yes, actually we are doing contract farming with many farmers. Every month we are doing actually 30-40 acres. We have replicate sugar cane. But for that actually we can use that government lands. In the villages there are many fallen lands, so we can approach the government and that land can be utilized for the silage, fodder cropping. So it will be very beneficial. But silage should be sustained.
So
I have observed.
Just give your name and.
My name is Pradeep Khedkar.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually.
So I don't have a solution for that, but then.
But yes, actually we have to work on that.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
it is sustainable.
We have to organize educational awareness programs. Yeah.
Yeah.
On silage there was a session, and secondly, BIS is also working on deciding specifications of corn silage. So very soon we might come up with those specifications. It's going to be a difficult task, but then we are coming up.
It requires combined effect actually for keeping this industry grow actually. So in Kolhapur flood situation actually silage is the really boon for them actually. जब flood वहाँ पे हुआ था तो वहाँ पे But it has to be promoted actually. That is my main concern is that.
Sure, I agree on that.
Okay, the next. One more question.
डॉक्टर शिंदे पंजाब में जो हमने
your name please, just give your name from where.
डॉक्टर जीवन गुप्ता, आई एम वेटनरी ऑफिसर इन पंजाब. मेन दो कंसर्न मैंने देखे हैं पंजाब में अभी जो डॉक्टर वाई साहब टॉकिंग अबाउट डिजीज डायग्नोसिस. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हमने बहुत सैंपल करवा के देखे हैं. और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो मैंने देखा है जब कि एजुकेटिंग द वेटनेरियन, एजुकेटिंग द पैरावेट्स. 95%, more than 95%, they veterinarians or paravets or AI workers, they are lacking in these basics of animal nutrition or farm management or heat stress or earlier disease diagnosis. अगर हम इसके लिए कोई लॉन्ग टर्म कुछ सरकार नहीं करेगी, अभी वर्ल्ड वेटरनरी डे हुआ था पीछे, बहुत बड़ा फंक्शन हुआ, देयर वाज नो लेक्चर ऑन फार्म मैनेजमेंट एंड न्यूट्रिशन. कैसे होगा सर? जो आप कर रहे हैं सर, बेसिकली जो सरकार को करना चाहिए वो कंपनियां कर रही हैं. और ये सबसे बड़ा इशू है हमारे सिस्टम का. हमने अभी पंजाब में एक प्रोग्राम शुरू किया, तो मेरा सर यही सबमिशन है कि somewhere if we can put this farmer education program along with this veterinarian education program.
I think that is taking place. Many of the milk unions and private dairies are training farmers and...
Fair point.
Yeah, but well said. It's an important thing.
Yes. So
one more question?
All.
Yes, one more. Okay.
Yes, sir. Actually, very nice presentation and insightful. The thing is, I think I have a question on milk fat depression, possibly. So if you see, I have balanced a lot of rations with respect to various regions and all those things, NDF, ADF and all those things. But what about your takeaways regarding the SARA condition and milk fat depression? Is it, its prevalence is going on, or it's from the beginning, or it is yet to come?
Okay, so that's a good question. So milk fat depression. So if you take a classical example of Maharashtra market, you ask the milk processors, they get like 3.2, 3.4% milk fat. Okay, versus the expectation is 4. So it's a reality. And if you go on silage-based diets, it's going to be more. And the reason is, during that silage analysis, I had mentioned that starch percentage. So we don't measure the starch in those silages. So we have to really measure that starch. That's one piece. Second piece is, again, balancing. When you balance the diet, you'll also have to look at the rumen physical effectiveness of the diet. And look at the basics. Cud count, rumination. And finally, we have done a lot of troubleshooting of milk fat issues. Finally, we see once it's the dietary factors, and then we go to the management factors. Most often, it's the morning milk that has less fat. And when we go and troubleshoot on a farm, we find that रात को तो light ही नहीं होती. So अंधेरे में गाय ने खाया नहीं, so no rumination. So again, it reflects in the morning milk. That's one. Second, what happens is whole complete milking. So the milk fat percentage is high in the early and the late milk. Middle is less. So what happens is if the cow is disturbed during milking, that last part doesn't come in. Or if that milking machine is removed earlier, that last part remains out. So even if you drip that, you will find that fat is in that early last thing.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things. You'll just have to make a checklist and go for that.
Yeah, because the specific gravity of milk is 1.03 and the specific gravity of fat is 0.09, 0.9. Yeah. Correct? Okay. Thanks very much.
Yeah,
thank you, Dr. Prashant. Very nice presentation. Now our final speaker, Dr. Raja Ratnam. He will not be speaking on any specific topic, but he has just returned from the US where he attended the International Dairy Federation Conference in Chicago. And he will just tell us a little about what happened there and about briefly also about some of the work he's doing. We'll give him 10 to 15 minutes.
Dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries on the other side of dais. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you. Only thing, Dr. Lester has done an injustice. The today topic is, dairy sector is an integral part of food security. If you are not there, there will be no food security through dairying. So your presence, your contribution is very much important. In that, what is necessary is there, production is very, very important. Without production, you cannot able also. Once the production being done, what will be the milk? Unless you will make a proper product mix, you cannot able to have a better profit or income. If you are not going to give income, you cannot expect to give the income to the farmers as such. So it's an integral part. He has taken 4% to give a lecture for this, for milk and milk product mix, only 1% is there. So still I will try to manage so that we can able to complete in the short period also. Okay, I don't want to take more of your time because he has given me time of 20 minutes. 15 minutes I will give a talk, and then remaining 3 minutes we can give for a question answers, and 2 minutes to recognize the people who are sitting throughout the day and with us also. Okay, this we want to make a program on also. I will just go through because the question is that time is a very important factor, and already you have seen that many people's discussions are there. So, what does sustainability means in dairying? Dairying sustainability refers of doing development business, because this is one of the biggest disadvantage for this also. You can't simply do only business. You have to do development activity also. Yesterday I could able to see our gentleman who is sitting here for the poultry farm. He has got an excellent future plan for the farmers through backyard poultry. So I think we give a big hand to the gentleman who is sitting there. Sir, really we are impressed very much also. So you have inculcated the habit of doing business with the development activities. Dairy sector also like that, where we had to integrate the dairy business activity. So if you try to do this one, if we make a, how we can able to go, two main categories coming there. One, effect of dairying on environment. Beautifully, our other speakers have given excellent lecture, particularly in the case of Dr. Anil sitting here. And you would have come here in sat only because you will not get the prize, don't worry. Okay. So Anil was talking about the animal welfare farm. An excellent future there because nobody can going to do, as our professor told, no, people are going to leave the dairy farming activity in future. So many, you have to have a better, we have a new form like that activity. And then Mr. Naresh very nicely told very interesting programs what we can able to go. Food security is important. Unless you have microbiological control on the activity, you can't expect the food security. Then Dr. Mohan very nicely told veterinary care is a must, then only we can able to achieve the food security activity. And Dr. Shinde very systematically told that you keep minimum of 10 to 15 animals, then only you can be a sustainable activity also. So when all the people are working together, they are producing milk. Once the milk is produced, and the milk should be converted into different forms. So I don't want to go in details. If you want to do any activity in dairy sector, these all the 4 pieces are there, which I already explained, so I don't want to go and try to have a. Above all, the very important, unless and we have promotion activity of the milk and milk product, is a very difficult for to survive in the coming days. So how to make a promotion is very important. If I go to market and if I ask me to drink milk, okay, I love to drink milk. If I ask my son to drink milk, no, he will not drink milk. He will try to go for only paneer, peda, etc. And then if I ask my grandchild to go, he don't like it, he will go for pizza or he go to ice cream also. So things can get different ways. But in a general form, what you do, the market milk can be standardized in the form of a standardized way, pasteurized, homogenized, and different fortified activity also. Then the traditional milk product is there. So when I wanted to go there, initially I failed in Madurai, Calcutta. Because I thought that people in Madurai, the Calcutta people take more of curd or milk. No. Once I made analysis, I found out people are very much in some Mishti Dohi. The moment he introduced Mishti Dohi, the brand of Motherji has gone up and the entire whole sale of set of product also. So they vary from place to place also. And the gentleman who's sitting from Bihar, sitting here, maybe his wife from Bihar, she was asking that, sir, Bihar में तो दूध से ज़्यादा लोग मिठाई ज़्यादा खाते हैं. So there also I failed initially for milk sales. Then after I started peda, then local का रसगुल्ला, गुलाब जामुन, उससे क्या हो गया मेरा ब्रांड बढ़ गया था. The moment brand बढ़ गया, automatic milk sales शुरू हो गया. So the traditional product will vary from place to place also. Of course, the next coming generation are think of more Western milk product. And then symbiotic and neutralitic dairy products is going to be a future in the phase. That's also you note also. So then apart from the dairy byproducts are there. Like that different type of activity one should try so that we can able to observe also. So I just want to have some important activity when the International Dairy Federation, now they are calling us a bee dairy. Any food you are taking in maybe morning, in the evening, afternoon, it should be have the dairy product as such. If you make this sort of activity, then only we can able to serve that also. Next important, the utility value. When you take milk, what is the value you are getting? And these are things to be brought to the people also. Then we should try to have an available supply chain. Available supply chain is a very, very important activities. So for example, you want to make a milk. If you try to do the milk should be kept in chilled condition from the beginning onwards. Okay. Available supply chain means you have to maintain till the end of the product supply. Many people, retailers, you know very well how they are doing also. In that case, they lose drinking milk and is a problem also. The applicable supply chains are very important. For example, when we started activity also, we made a rasgulla and then we given the market. Unfortunately, the fellow who was working there, he put the rasgulla only in the deep freezer. So, जो consumer खाते हैं उनके दांत का क्या हाल होगा देखिए. So that is where we have to have an available supply chain. Supply chain is a very important. We have to categorize and try to work it also. And then another important thing what happened, nowadays the product mix, particularly like developing countries like India, Africa and other countries, different market segments are there. You have to identify which are the markets we can try to work at also. Mr. Person from Rajasthan, he was asking something on the day also. You have to plan accordingly so that we can able to achieve and you can get a better return on your investment. And the product mix of future, nutraceuticals, symbiotic, this functional dairy product, which protect the man from ill health, will fetch a better place. See, if you ask me to drink full cream milk, I may die with a heart attack within few days. If you ask this student who is sitting near her, if you ask her to drink full cream milk, she can drink and she can become more active also. So, depending on the age group, depending on different variety, you have to find out and standardize, then you can get the your goal of achieving better penetration the market as such. Then another interesting what I want to say, whatever the product you are preparing, now the world is expecting something from you. It's not only milk. You need that you have to do something, a sort of sustainable goal development activity. You have to protect the environment. And you see, some people who are there, I think they are all doing wonderful activity. Coming from energy conservation and different activities there, they all lead to the wealth of only sustainable milk product mix can be achieved, and you have to deal the sustainable development goal. Then only the dairy sector can have a better impact on the society by which we can able to achieve the food security. Last slide is very important. I am just giving everywhere when you take somebody was telling a take home message. I am not giving a take home message. Listen, sir. There are, if you want to make a food security through dairying, I'm thankful to the organizer as such. Organizers should help us so that the government should not give unnecessary burden for the industry by giving more taxations. See, recently for the past 1 year, now dahi has been given the GST, and then ghee got 18% see. So I think I'm requesting the organizer, please take this homework. Of course, madam is not, Prachi is not here. Please help us so that the government should be convinced so that the GST can be minimized, reduced for the milk product. Then only consumption can be increased. Once the consumption increased, your food security is there through dairying and such. The participants who are sitting over here, I just request you have seen so many excellent exhibition centers. Dr. Wali Saab made so many arrangements for everything also. You bring whatever our speakers told about the new technology, let us adopt. Already they are getting recorded all the materials. Kindly circulate to many people so that who are not coming here, who have not got an opportunity to be here, can also get the benefit. Let us work together to make an adopting technology. Lastly, speaker, me, who is important. I am also equally important. See, assembly, speaker is there. Okay, Lok Sabha, speaker is there. I am a speaker. So that if organizers fail to do anything, I can take action against the organizer. If you are not able to do it, I can also take action against you also. So, ultimate aim is there, we should try to see our contribution to the food security through dairying should be well established. That's what I want to request you. So, I just exactly kept the time, whatever. Also, I have 5 minutes left with me. With the 5 minutes, what I want to do, where is the organizer? Please come here. टिक कर दो उसको, एक कलम दे देंगे. See, I am very thankful. Of course, we are speaker, we are getting awarded. We are getting recognized. The people sitting on this other side, the delegates are not getting any recognition. So we want to make a new type of innovations so that some of the delegates who are sitting over there, they get some recognition. I hope that you all got the paper like this, no? Small paper like that. Okay? We didn't get it. Very good, thank you. Please take the numbers. Okay. Random. Yeah, good. Anybody having a sheet number 3? Oh, very good. Sheet number 8? Please come. Sheet number 12? Okay, basically. 15? You ask many questions, you are ultimately getting also. 21? Oh, you are Chatterjee, come on, yeah. 21. Okay. What about this one? 13? 1-3? 1-3 is not there. 7? Come on. Equal representation one side also. Okay. Sir, I request kindly come over here, our Dr. Lister. One by one, पहले lister शुरू करेंगे. आइए ना. Come here, please come, sir. Please honor him for his stay over here. Okay, good. Stand here. I'm also requesting other gentlemen. Please, be here, don't go. Next person, please, out there. आइए, doctor. Please. Yeah. Thank you. Where is other? Sir, you have to come. Doctor, please. One more. What about other gentlemen there? Hey, you here, come here. Your turn. No, I'm a host. I think let's have a big hand because they are representing the people association. Come on, all. Please come here. अरे कहाँ निकाल? बोला है कोई दिक्कत नहीं. हाँ पूरी करने में सुधार किया था. Okay. This is being made by the women entrepreneur in the UNDP project. Any photograph or over? You want somebody can help? Photograph picture. Whatever you are wearing today, it has been prepared by the women entrepreneur under UND project. So we are honored by accepting our women's contribution for social research. Okay, thank you, Mr. Listen, sir, I completed the entire thing within the time given to me.
Dr. Raja.
Once upon, thank you very much. It is called innovation. So you are all going to do some sort of innovation so that our food security is being achieved through our dairying sector. Thank you very much, sir.
And thank you, Dr. Ratnam, for giving us some homework also. You are the only one who has given us some homework. Thank you. So first of all, thanks to the audience and thanks to all our speakers for their excellent presentations, and I'm sure we probably lack the time to ask enough questions and get satisfied, but you all can always meet them personally through email or through phone calls. So thank you very much, and now we'll have a felicitation program for the speakers.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the speakers, and I would like the audience to be present, to not go somewhere else and see the presentation program. So I thank you for all the speakers present here, eminent speakers, and thank you for all the speakers to show a generous and a good gesture towards the audience. So thank you for all this. And I would like to invite TK Wali sir to present over the stage and felicitate Lester Noon sir for the felicitation. So next, I would like to invite Mr. Lester Noon sir over the stage and to present festate Dr. Anil Katwar sir. Please give a round of applause. Next, I would like to invite Next, I would like to invite Dr. Prashant Sinde. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Raja Ratinam, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you for all the speakers and audience. And yeah.